Hi, it's Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. We're back inside the kitchen today where I'm going to teach you how to dry can. That's right, I said dry can your beans and your rice and your other products that are your dry goods for long-term storage, okay? So come along with me today for the ride. We're going to have a long, busy day. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, and let's get started. And remember, this helps you save your pinto beans, black beans, rice, all different types of your jasmine rices, all your flavored rices and stuff. I mean, anything that's in this form, you can now buy in bulk. And I'm going to teach you how to save it in a canning jar for up to 15 to 30 years without using oxygen absorbers. And we're going to show you how to kill all the larvae and the eggs in here that you normally get in this type of food that will hatch. This will kill the eggs and the larvae from hatching. That way when you open this jar up, the mice can't get to it, the bugs can't get to it, the eggs won't hatch, and we're going to show you how that's done here in just a minute. And I want you to remember your wipes, whether Lysol or Clorox type wipes, because I even want you to wipe the bags down when you get them home. And I want you to wipe your countertops down. Because what happens at the factory here is if you know there's bugs on the inside, you know there's probably bug eggs or bug shells on the outside as well. Hubby's playing cameraman today. Basically, I just want to show you real quick. I've washed my half-gallon jars, and what I do is after I drain as much water out of it as I can, it's very, very hot. I just put this into a steam bath here to sterilize my jars. A little bit of water and a little bit of vinegar. See that? Try not to touch the rims at all. And then what I'm doing here, I'm turning these upside down. And I'm putting these in the oven. See, that's hot. Upside down in the oven at 225 degrees. And I'm just going to do that because I'm drying them out. I don't want to put my baking mixes or rice or beans. You want these sterile and you want these jars clean. These are all new jars. I will tell you that I did wash them really, really well first. Take out this one. We're going to let it drain out as quick as possible. And again, we're just going to slip this one. It's hot. Ooh, it's hot. Be careful in the oven. I'm just going to continue to let those dry. And once they've dried, and they're all really dry in there in the oven upside down, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to the jars. Turn the oven back off, let the jars naturally cool in the oven, and then I'm going to fill them up. And the last one goes in. Again, I just got the water, maybe about a ½ inch of water in here with just a little bit of vinegar. And we put the jars in, put the lids on, turn this almost on high, not quite on high, and we let this go, and we set the timer. When they start steaming really well, we set the timer for 20 minutes. 15-20 minutes definitely will get these nice and sterile. We're just trying to sterilize the jars because this is going to be for anywhere from 10 to 15 year food storage. Okay, here I have just stuck my half-gallon canning jars. I've got 12 in the main oven and another 6 in my auxiliary oven. I'm going to put these, just a panful of these lids, all nice and dry. I've washed them, dried them really, really well. And then I'm going to, these have to be dry because you don't want the rice or the beans to get wet during this process. Now we're just going to heat these up and put these in the oven for about 15 minutes. Remember, we're not going to water bath these. We're just going to heat them up and sterilize them for 10 to 15 minutes in the oven. Okay, we've gotten the jars out of the oven. And I got them really dried out. Remember, you do not want to put rice or beans or anything inside of a wet jar. You don't want to do it. Okay, that'll make it swell up and that'll totally defeat the purpose of what we're going for here, which is called dry canning. Okay, so here you can see that I just took and wiggled these after I filled them up. Got them nice and concentrated down just like this right here. Okay, and made room, and we want about 3/4 of an inch headroom here. on each one. Okay, and we're just going to continue to fill these up. Just like that right there. We're going to continue to pack them down. Remember, this method is to kill the bugs and the egg larvae and stuff, okay? That's what this method is for. A little bit more. Just get yourself a big old spoon or scoop, just like this. And what I bought here was I bought the, you can see this a little better here. I bought the 20 pounds of the Great Value long grain regular rice. And you can do any kind of rice with this, okay? Everything goes. Okay, and again, we're just going to take, we're just going to tap that gently. We don't want to break the glass, but get that a little bit too full. We do want this patted down nicely. So we want 3/4 of an inch to an inch head space. And then just keep filling these up. And it looks like a bag, a 20-pound bag of this rice is going to fill up between 6 to 7 half-gallon jars. We'll see here in just a minute how far we get. And that's good because, and the reason why I'm storing it this way and not directly in a bucket is because the mice can get in the buckets. They can try to poke a little hole in a Mylar bag in a corner of a Mylar bag. You'll see they're easy to break through. Mice can smell things, rats, you name it, they can get to things. Little bugs, we don't want that. Glass, this is the best way to store rice and dried goods like beans. This really is the best way to do it. If you want an extremely long way to store your foods, this right here is the way to get it right here. It kills the bugs, it kills the larvae. This is it right here. Okay, we're just going to keep going. And when I've got these all filled up, we'll be right back. All right, the rice is in the oven at 220 degrees, and we're going to do the same thing with the beans. So while the oven's heating up with the rice in there, I've got an auxiliary oven that will hold the last 6. So again, we're just going to take 20 pounds of beans. Kind of get that bag open wide. They look good, look in good condition. See, these are just regular beans. All right, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to fill up these half-gallon jars. You can do quart jars if you want to do quart jars. But it's easier for me to store these in half-gallon jars. You get 6 of these half-gallon jars per box, per case. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to kind of tap around here. And we're going to fill this up to about 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch head space. I prefer an inch. Get it nice and packed. And then we go on to the next one, just like that. In the oven for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the size of the jar. These are gallons, so I'll probably put them in for about an hour and 30 minutes, about 90 minutes. Oops. Pop those down here. If you see any stones or anything, get rid of those. My rack's bowing here just a little bit, but that's fine. It's not going to be anything permanent. It's just all the weight that's in there. And you can see I've got the convection on. You can see the fan spinning back here. That just helps circulate the heat. If you don't have that, that's fine. You still want to set this on the same temperature. And that's where we set it for getting all the water and everything from when we washed them out. But now we're at 220. So we've raised it up, and now we're actually doing the sterilization of the actual jars and the rice, and getting all those little bugs and critter eggs and larva eggs and stuff out of here. Okay? And if I decide that that's not working, then I'm going to come back and I'll make that adjustment. All right, we'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and fill the beans up in my auxiliary oven here. All right, now I've just put the pinto beans. I think I called them navy beans a minute ago. I didn't mean to. They're actually pinto beans. And I was able to get 6 full jars in here of that 20-pound bag. And we set this stove to 225. We'll shut that, and then we're going to bring it up to temperature. And we'll know that the auxiliary oven's up to temperature when this light shuts off. And then this right here says it's already there. So now that's when we start timing. I'll wait till this one catches up to this one, and then I'll start the timing. It'll be about an hour and a half before I see you back here, okay? And then we'll take these lids here and we will heat these lids up, and I'll just lay these lids up inside in the last 15 minutes of the heating, and that will warm these lids up. We just want to get them a little bit warm, and we want to sterilize them because we are dry canning. What I'm going to do here is, I'm going to let those go a little bit longer. I'm going to do these. So we're just going to do this quickly. Take one out at a time. You do not want to get your our lids, which we just warmed up. Napkins here. I just want to make sure that this top has no dust or anything on it. This is hot. Make sure that didn't crack. Looks good. Hot lid. Tighten it. It's very hot. And we want to tighten it down really tight. This is the hard part. Oh, it's hot. There we go. Tighten it down really tight. That's as tight as I can get it. I'm hoping that's as tight as it gets. Okay, we're just going to keep going, just like that. We'll do some beans as well here, so we can show you the beans. Keep the oven door shut. Get any dust. Make sure you don't touch this with your fingers, and you want to be really, really fast with this. Yeah, that's nice and hot in there. We've killed anything that was in there. Again. Some of these don't. Can't get any tighter than that, but hopefully, move Lexi. Okay, and there we go. There's our beans. Now, for some reason, these don't seal. Then just remember that we can use our vacuum sealer on these. And these won't seal. If you get any finger oils on here, they will not seal. Just get it really, really good and dry. And it looks good. It is hot. Can't get a hold of it I just have to use my asbestos fingers the best I can. Get it?
Yeah.
It's okay, there's no hurry with this, but there is a hurry once you get it out of the oven. And these should seal down, like I said. It's a really tight screw down on these, by the way. They're fine. Remember, I'm not putting anything on here. This is just a dry napkin here. I'm not touching the bottom side of that either. I did have these in there for about 5-10 minutes, these tops. Wish I could hang on to it. It's too hot to even put up against my belly. There we go, that's how to do that right there. You want them on there as tight as you can get them. Just put it up against my body like that. There we go. There we go. Oh, I can't even begin to tell you how hot this is. Just gotta keep working it and keep going with it. This kills all that bugs and all that larvae in there. Okay, I can see this is working because can you see the little dome here where it's starting to suck down? This one right here is getting ready to pop here. And there, and this one. This one right here just popped down. Look at that. It's down. Going down. This one right here is about ready to pop down. So far, all of them look like they are getting ready to seal, or we heard one ting, and I just finished, so we'll just sit this here and see if we can't hear some more tings. I'll just sit that there, and you guys can look for them or watch for them while I finish cleaning my kitchen. Yay! It's working. Yeah, this one right here is sealed. That's good. I need to... So there you have it. Dry canned goods. Now when we come tomorrow, it looks like a lot of these are going to, looks like they're going to seal, so. Oh, there's another one. My biggest worry about doing this method was the fact that these were the new canning lids, BPA-free canning lids, and so that's the part that has me the most concerned. So what you want to do, if for some reason one of them does not seal, I'm just going to show this to you in an aftermath. You make sure that your jar is nice and sterile. Make sure there's no water on the inside at all, okay? I'm going to do this over the sink real quick. Here's a used lid that I've cleaned. Remember, this one theory. You can reuse lids from canning for vacuum sealing, but you cannot use used lids for canning or dry canning, okay? Anything that I just showed you. Only for vacuum sealing can you reuse lids. This is a food saver bag. You've got the tube here. You cannot do this with fine powders. We have two sizes. We have the regular mouth, we have the wide mouth. And these right here, just place that right over the center, place that on top, and this kind of burps it when you put this on. So if this is already on, you want to remove it and then put it back on, because you want to get that air out of the top of that lid. There's another one sealing, woohoo! And you'll keep an eye here on the, let's see if you can see this. Keep an eye here on the green light. And I'm just vacuum sealing the rice in this jar. And if any of these beans or rice don't seal, this is exactly what I'm going to end up doing. Right now, just getting the air out of the jar. There's the green light. There was a lot of air in here. This is a half-gallon jar. And then there you go. And watch this. There you go. Well, listen to him now, Poppin' John boy.
That's good.
And then there we are. We have this vacuum sealed. Now what I would do is I would put an oxygen absorber in here. And that would keep this. And you want to check these about every month. Make sure that your seals are down for the first couple months, just to make sure. I've actually had them come back up. So just because these weren't, the lid wasn't centered on the jar very well, or it was a different type of jar and it had a little bit wider mouth on it. But I'm having problems with some of these new ball jars on the vacuum sealing. But so far for canning, I haven't had a whole lot of problems. But this is my first time using the new lids on dry canning. So that's why I wanted to do this today, because we bought in bulk. So if none of these seal, this is how we can seal it. And you can do it either way, but dry canning, you can heat it, you can heat the beans or the rice in the oven like we just did. That's perfect for killing the eggs and the larva eggs. On this, you'll want to freeze the rice for 3 to 4 days in the deep freeze, or your beans or any of your dry goods products before you vacuum seal, because you can get little larvas and weevils and little things like that inside your rice if you don't. When you open it and you see little shell casings in there, then you know you've got a problem. Okay, you need to get in there. The grains are still good. You just need to get in there and get those killed, get those out of there. All right, so that's how we vacuum seal. And here's a regular mouth jar lid here. And then here is the wide mouth, okay? And I just have a very simple, I picked this up for $19 on eBay. And it also does the Seal-A-Mill like steaks and things like that, you know, the actual sheets of plastic. And you can buy that on eBay as well in one big roll. And that really saves your meat, saves your time. You can pre-slice a ham, get it in here, get it pre-sliced, get it sealed up like this, get it in the freezer, and that can really save it as well. And there's another one. Woohoo, the rice is going now, baby. And just for an example, we got these cookies the other day, and I got 6 packs of these delicious once-a-year things they come out with, which was the new pumpkin Oreo cookies. And see, I just used my, see that? I just used my thing here, and air did it as well. Now these cookies will stay fresh for 2 to 3 years, vacuum sealed. And the nice thing about this is, watch this. I'm going to show you a little trick. Watch this about vacuum sealing. Well, I've got an oxygen absorber in here. I don't think I'm going to open this one. I'll do another one. Hold on. I know, I didn't wipe off the little rim here. And I probably have a little bit of cookie dust on the rubber ring. There we go. Now let's try that again. There we go. Sometimes I have to pull it off of here and put it back on. Now let's do it. There we go. It should take a few seconds before that green light comes on. Hoping you can see that. And you can use this lid over and over and over again. And like I said, I can keep these in my food store for years. Here we go. Well, here, hang on. You just take that off. Get the air released out of it. There you go. Now look at that. I've only got 2 cookies left in here. But I just want to show you. I can keep my cookies fresh. I keep everything of mine stored in canning jars. And here I'll show you. And on your vacuum sealer, never use fine powder items like cornstarch or powdered sugar. Those things are too fine of powders, even clear gel, and they will get up into your tube here, and they can ruin your power saver. So, and that brings us back to the rice and beans. So I hope this episode has helped you learn about long-term food storage. And if you have any questions, just leave a question or a comment below. Tell me how you do it. I'd love to know how you do long-term food storage. I will tell you this. The beans and the rice are good for up to 15 to 20 years, all right? 15 to 20 years. People swear by it. I can tell you that I've been canning for 32 years and I've not had an issue with this. So, but people tell me that they want to can like their parents did in the oven. Don't ever can in the oven except for dry goods, including pasta, beans, and rice. Don't can in the oven any liquids or meats or vegetables. All right, those are low acid foods, and they must be either water bath canned or they must be pressure canned, and the higher acid foods must be water bath canned, okay? So let's get this straight. I'm only dry canning in the oven dry goods, all right? I can't reiterate on that enough. So let's check our seals. Let's see how we did. I heard them a-popping. Sealed, 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 and sealed. We have 100% seals. That's a high five, baby. Woohoo! They all sealed. So we'll come back tomorrow and we will we'll make sure that they all sealed. We'll wait 48 hours before we put these in a cabinet. And I'm going to loosen the rings maybe a little bit, but I think I'm going to keep the rings on these. I think that will help keep them sealed, just because of the way that I did it. They were dry canned, so there was no water to get up underneath here. And we're in a low moisture area. These will be stored in the house with air conditioning from the summer through the winter. If SHTF doesn't happen, then that's the way it will be. And we're going to come back here next week because I'm going to teach you how to can dairy products. You heard me. I'm whispering so the FDA doesn't hear me. Shh. Dairy products. Yes, you can dairy products. And I'm going to teach you how. This is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I hope you've learned something. And I'd love to learn from you as well. So be sure and leave a comment below. Hit the subscribe button and let's do this journey of homesteading together. This is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton on how to dry can in the oven beans and rice. Blessings.
Isn't that beautiful, Lexi? Lexi, you got off your collar. Oh, Daddy put it back on you. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Shake. Okay, tell everybody bye. Say goodbye. Good girl. Okay, it's been about 12 hours. These have cooled, and I just want to give an example here of how you should cut out the nutritional facts and even the cooking directions or anything important that you might want to keep that's on the bag of the rice or the beans or the pasta. Any cooking directions that you feel that you might need to keep. And what you can do is you can just take some tape when these cool down and just tape packaging tape over the whole thing.
There's a lot of other things. If you have questions, ask Janie.